Welcome to The Explainer. If you've ever felt like your cloud bill is a runaway train, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to talk about how to grab the emergency brake by building your very first cloud cost policies. Simple, automated rules that can save you a fortune.
Okay, just a quick heads up before we dive in. This explainer is Module 18 of a larger 20-module tutorial. Everything we're talking about is based on a comprehensive report by Virtualization Options LLC. Now, this offers general guidance, it's provided without warranty, and it's definitely not legal or financial advice. So as always, it's really recommended that you chat with your own financial and legal professionals before you take any action. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started.
So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with what happens when you have no rules. We're calling it the cost of chaos. Then we'll talk about the solution, digital guardrails. After that, I'll give you 5 specific policies you can literally start using today, show you how to make them stick, and finally, wrap up with why these rules need to grow and change with you.
Let's start with a problem that I think almost every organization faces. Most of our cloud cost management is reactive. It's like mopping up a flooded bathroom floor instead of just fixing the leaky pipe. You're always cleaning up the mess after the damage, and the bill has already been done.
So that brings us to the real question, doesn't it? How do you get ahead of the problem? How do you stop those expensive mistakes from happening in the first place, instead of just hunting them down after the fact?
Well, the answer is by building cost policies. And I love how the source material describes these. They're digital guardrails. Think about it like driving on a highway. The guardrails don't slow you down. They just keep you from accidentally driving off a cliff. That's exactly what these policies do for your cloud budget.
But for these guardrails to actually work, they can't just be, vague suggestions. They've got to be concrete, specific, and totally enforceable.
And this is just so crucial. A policy isn't an aspiration like, let's try to keep costs low. That's not a rule, it's a wish. An effective policy is an enforceable rule. Something like development instances must be T3 medium or smaller. One can be ignored, the other can be automated. It turns compliance from optional to automatic. So, where do you begin? This can feel pretty overwhelming, but it really doesn't have to be. Here are 5 foundational policies straight from the source material that you can implement right away to get some quick wins. This slide basically lays out your first roadmap. It's a fantastic starting point. We're going to cover 5 simple but incredibly powerful rules. Controlling the size and location of your resources, requiring tags so you know who owns what, setting up budget alerts, and, my favorite, mandating end dates for projects. Let's break them down. First up, you can stop developers from accidentally spinning up a massive, super expensive server just to run a simple test. By restricting instance sizes in places like your dev and test environments, you cut out a huge source of waste. And, at the same time, you can prevent resources from being created in more expensive geographic regions when a cheaper one works just fine. Next, we enforce accountability. When you mandate simple tags like owner and purpose, there are no more mystery servers eating up your budget. You know who spun it up and why. And budget alerts? They're like an early warning system that tells a team they're about to overspend before it happens, not after. And finally, you get to stop the zombie resources. Come on, we've all seen them. Those little experiments from 2 years ago that were never shut down and are still quietly adding to your bill every single month. By making sure every resource has a planned expiration date, you ensure temporary projects don't become permanent expenses. Okay, so creating the rules is step 1, but making them stick in the real world, where people are busy and projects are urgent, that takes a little more thought.
The key takeaway here is just one word: automation. Manual review processes are slow, they're inconsistent, and let's be honest, they're easy to get around. The only way to make policies truly stick is to build them right into your deployment process with your cloud provider's tools. If a deployment violates a rule, it should just be automatically rejected. That's it.
Of course, there are always going to be legitimate exceptions. A team might need a bigger instance for a one-off performance test. The goal isn't to just say no to everything. It's to have a formal, tracked process to approve those exceptions. This way, they stay temporary and they don't become permanent backdoors that weaken all your policies. And remember, policy design is a team sport. You absolutely cannot create these rules in a vacuum. You need finance in the room for budget control, security for standards, and you definitely need engineering and product teams there to make sure the rules don't slow down innovation. Collaboration is everything.
Lastly, and this is so important, building policies is not a one-time task. You don't just set it and forget it.
Your business changes, technology changes, and guess what? Your policies have to change right along with them.
This quote from the source material just perfectly captures the mindset you need. Plan on reviewing your policies regularly, maybe every quarter. See what's working and what's not. Is one policy causing way too many exceptions? Are costs still creeping up in one area? Use that data to adapt and improve them over time.
So, as we wrap up, here's the one question I want you to take back to your team. Your cloud spending is always growing and evolving, but are your guardrails keeping up? Thanks for watching The Explainer.